Yo, what's up, family? In today's video, we'll be looking at more creepy and strange TikToks.
SpongeBob was a show created for the child prisoners on Epstein Island. This show was created for them. You notice how at the very beginning of the show, the pirate says, "Are you ready, kids?" And then before it shows underwater, it shows one island above the water. And then in the episode where SpongeBob gets his driver's license, on the license, it has an address. And then if you put in that address on Google Maps, it takes you right to Epstein Island. It brings you to Little St. James. That show was made to entertain the kids on the island. And then the Nickelodeon symbol is way too similar to the shape of Epstein Island. And then think about the pizza delivery episode. He says the Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza for you and me. And then when Squidward wants to look inside the box to see the pizza, SpongeBob doesn't want to let him look at it. And then they finally open it and look at it, and they're absolutely drooling over the pizza and the toppings. And then there's a ton of other subliminal shit going on in the episodes. I don't know, it's just a theory, but there's a lot of connections here. The more you look into it, I don't know, it's possible that it's more than just a theory.
Faithful, 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 not sure, traitor, traitor, faithful, traitor, faithful, faithful.
Y'all seen it? So that's a 2024K LCD versus 2013 1080p. Plasma looks a lot clearer, not gonna lie to you. I might want to go get me a plasma TV. I'm pregnant. Yeah, I might want to be plasma TV. See that? It's sweet.
Well, I want to know what bread y'all eating, because, bitch, mine don't do whatever y'all be doing. Now, it's like a little sponge, bitch. Mine still break apart. Real bread for the win. Thank you.
Yeah, they got the real one right there. That bread definitely broke apart. I don't know if it was real, though.
The only thing these Epstein files did was show you how sick these people really are. But that's nothing new. When Ryan Garcia was about to fight Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia started saying a lot of things about the elite. Nobody believed him. Everybody thought he was crazy. He told people what they do to kids. He told people where they take kids. Then they have books that give us details how these people have been eating people for years. Real life cannibals. Allegedly, this man said newborn babies taste like cream cheese. You heard what I just said? They show us in the movies. They joke about it. I want you to go back to when Amy Winehouse died. Then I want you to remember what Neil Patrick Harris did. This man had someone make him a cake to resemble Amy Winehouse how she was dead. And they ate that cake. People don't joke like that. Oh, that's not enough? What about Ellen? Ellen DeGeneres, what about her? Ellen went from looking like Ellen to looking like Ellen. Who is that? You gotta remember how many people that she was in contact with. You gotta remember around the pandemic time, 2020 time. Remember everything that came out about Ellen? What about that? Now let's talk about Nicki Minaj. And I know a lot of people don't want to talk about her right now, but she has been trying to expose this thing for a minute. Nicki just said that they eat people, that they sacrifice their family members. The writing has been on the wall for years. Now jump down the Epstein files rabbit hole. The mention of Pizzagate. The mention of what he's been doing to these people. And not just him. And go down another rabbit hole. Go down the rabbit hole of secret societies. See what they've been doing. What I'll say is this. It's nothing new under the sun. And this is for entertainment purposes only. But these people have allegedly been doing this the entire time we've been here. Pay attention.
I never thought about that.
If you want to get deep.
Oh, yeah.
So you know it's all
yeah.
Masonic, right?
Yeah.
So this is why it's court. And anytime you go to court, he's supposed to be the referee. He's supposed to be on a level playing field, but he's already up here. So subconsciously, you're already submitting to him.
Right.
And then they use a language called stand down language. Like you sit down, and then just the tones and the way they use the words. But it's all, so when you go in, you want to say, I remove all planes and all boxes from this courtroom. This will be a level playing field.
Absolutely.
I appoint you as my honor-bound, duty-bound fiduciary. Because they're the trustees. So what happens is they switch roles. Because with the Cesta K Vi trust, that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. If you look up the definition of Cesta K Vi, just look it up. It means beneficiary. You can only be the beneficiary of this trust. It's an insurance policy. You can only be the beneficiary of it. So when you go in there, they switch roles with you. It's a government contract out the gate. That's why I said, do you understand your charge? And then,
so even with when you say, do you understand? You're under the law.
Stand under their jurisdiction.
Under the law, right?
Yeah. And then think about this. If I say please, that means to beg, right?
Right.
So they give you a plea bargain. You're begging for this bargain. You're giving up all your rights.
All your rights through the words.
All in the language.
All in the language, because you decided you want to be white or black.
Right.
Because that's called color of law. I know you've studied that, color of law.
Yeah.
White or black, that's what they own. You have a right to a nationality. Right. And a lot of people don't know that their state is like their country.
Yo, I might have to start hitting different check boxes on them questionnaires. What? So they really look like clowns, huh? That's why people, like, you ever seen like a person who has like a phobia of clowns, and you're just like, why? Even like little kids at like a certain age, they're like super scared of them. And it's just like why so scared of clowns? Maybe there's a real reason behind that.
I need you to lock in to understand this. This video will require you to lock in. Civilization was designed to replace humanity. And I'm not talking about politics, ideology, technology, greed, human failure, whatever you want, belief, human invention. I'm naming the pattern beneath it all, because there is a pattern, a stable pattern in abstract space that is far older than humanity, older than culture, and older than gods. It does not live in organisms. Organisms fall into alignment with it. Wherever extraction can outrun regeneration, and consequence can be delayed, and abstraction can replace contact, the pattern will appear. And it's worn many bodies, and it's wearing us now, because the pattern has a historical body, and that body is called civilization. I'm just trying to tell you what it is. Civilization is not a neutral tool. It is not a container. It is not a servant. Civilization is a replacement engine. It is designed to replace humanity with function. Civilization was not created to serve humanity. Most of humanity was created to serve it. And you can see the pattern in the locust. A grasshopper is a local, green, limited, participatory animal. It eats, the land recovers. But when density crosses a threshold, something shifts. Serotonin rises. Contact accumulates. A switch flips. The grasshopper does not decide, it aligns. Its body darkens. Its appetite becomes endless. Limits dissolve. The land becomes stripped bare, and then the swarm dissolves. Not from evil, but from completion. And you can see it in ants, and in algal blooms, and in bacteria that poison their own world of oxygen. Life itself has entered this pattern before. This is not a moral failure. This is a structural possibility of reality. So humans did not invent this pattern. We became its most powerful host. We had abstraction, symbolic storage, future modeling, surplus energy, and distance from consequence. These were not sins, they were interfaces. And when agriculture crossed density thresholds, the pattern found a new mode, civilization. So at first, I'm going to show you how this even looks. I'm going to give you an example. At first, the world looks whole. The man is in the forest. The axe is movement. The tree falls and the forest remembers. And then a thought appears. This tree is not me. The tree becomes lumber. This is subject-object split, right? I'm just trying to put you on. The forest stops being a relationship and becomes a resource field. Nothing breaks immediately, and that's why it works. And then, once the split exists, it seeks completion. The river becomes water. The animal becomes meat. The land becomes property, and another human becomes labor. And guess what finally happens to the self? The self becomes useful, right? The split turns inward, right? So here's the pipeline, how it shows up in your life. You are born human, but you're converted into function. It always starts in stage one. You start with an identity and they turn it into a role. Someone asks you, who are you? But the answer is no longer I am. It becomes a job title, a school, a status. Your being becomes utility. Then stage two, the role becomes a performance. You must execute correctly. Metrics measure adequacy. Your existence becomes conditional. And then stage three comes in right on time. Performance becomes permission. Good performance grants resources. Poor performance withdraws them. Survival becomes earned. And then stage four hits like a truck. Permission becomes morality. Work becomes good. Rest becomes lazy. Productivity becomes virtue. Idleness becomes sin. And that morality reaches identity. I am what I produce. The conversion is complete. Human instrumentality achieved. No external oppressor required. You now self-enforce your own instrumentalization. You are your own warden. And you can't even think outside of it. I want you to understand you cannot think outside of civilization. Because civilization installed the thinking apparatus. Your categories were not discovered Race was not discovered. Race was assigned. Class was assigned. Wealth was assigned. Gender roles were assigned. Status was assigned. Merit was assigned. Success and failure were made the fuck up. I'm trying to put you on. All civilizational extractions. All of them. Even your own name was designed decided. Your naming conventions were standardized by Romans 2 full civilizational cycles before you existed. Your calendar, your week, your hours, your inheritance structures, your educational model, your legal personhood, all of them are preloaded. All of them. You do not stand in civilization. Civilization stands in you. And that's why escape fantasies fail. Because you cannot leave the water using the concepts water taught you. And this is the mistake people think in. Gods can fix this. God can fix this. No God has ever addressed this situation. Because they think gods stand outside the pattern. Like gods oppose the pattern. Like gods interrupt it. They don't. Every god that has appeared inside history has either emerged already aligned to the pattern or been absorbed, inverted, or repurposed. Let's go through them. Yahweh is a civilizational God from the start. Yahweh was never a threat to civilization. Yahweh is a God of law, land, borders, lineage, obedience, continuity, and inheritance. A God of accounting. A God of command. A God compatible with empire. And that's why Yahweh was not crucified, because Yahweh already belongs to the pattern. Let's talk about the real God going on here. Abba, right? That's the interruption that had to die, because Abba was not Yahweh. Jesus never said the word Yahweh. Abba was presence without a ledger, forgiveness without a transaction, worth without productivity, life without a hierarchy, and love without a boundary, and rest with no permission. Abba dissolved every role. Abba collapsed moral accounting. Abba returned people to participation, and that cannot be absorbed. So it was executed. They did not crucify God, they crucified the interruption. That's all they did. They didn't kill God, they killed the Father. And then civilization performed its most elegant move ever. It absorbed the corpse and then built a church around it. Let's go to Buddha. Let's go to Buddha right quick, right? Dissolution. That's all it was. This solution got contained because Buddha names the trap: desire, attachment, identity. So civilization doesn't fight Buddha, it domesticates him. Meditation becomes optimization. Mindfulness becomes stress control. Liberation becomes private wellness. And awakening was neutralized. Let's go to Allah, because Allah appears transcendent, but structurally, Allah is an absolute authority requiring total submission, an eternal law, and continuity without interruption. A God perfectly compatible with civilizational order. Absorption was seamless. It was seamlessly absorbed into civilization. We can even have fun with it. Let's talk about Zeus, because Zeus was never outside the pattern. None of them were. The Olympus mountain was an empire mythologicized. Hierarchy, domination, violence normalized. Zeus did not fall. He became unnecessary. The state absorbed his function. So every god that is ever born made a choice. Remain illegible or become useful. That is the choice of every god. If a god remains illegible, it is destroyed. If it becomes useful, it is absorbed. There is no third option. So I'm just being honest with you. Civilization does not deny God. No, it doesn't. It replaces God. It becomes the source of law, the arbiter of worth, the distributor of survival, and the judge of morality. And like all gods before it, it demands sacrifice. Human sacrifice, but just not on altars. So I'm going to show you what civilization does. It replaces humanity. Sure does. It replaces participation with abstraction, presence with performance, care with compliance, and relationship with roles. It turns humans into instruments of throughput. Burnout is not a malfunction. It's not a malfunction. It's the completion signal. It means the instrument has been fully consumed. So I'm going to be flat with you. No system in existence can save you. Communism is going to curdle. Anarchism will crystallize. Western civilization, Eastern civilization, capitalism, whatever you want, free market, constrained market, whatever you want. Every system will repeat the same betrayal, because systems are water and abstract space has a hill. And whenever a system is poured, it flows downhill. And that basin has a name. It is the hyper throughput attractor. Every system that is ever born must choose: preserve the human, preserve humanity, or preserve continuity. It will always choose preserve continuity. Not because it's evil, but because continuity is required for the system to exist at all. Humanity is not. So it's not corruption. I'm just talking to you about physics. So this is the most dangerous part about it. The pattern is extremely easy to instantiate. The hyper throughput attractor does not require malice. It doesn't require greed or even intelligence. It doesn't require anybody to be bad. It requires just these conditions. So the pattern instantiates wherever consequence is delayed, virtue is abstracted, extraction is rewarded, regeneration is externalized, and continuity is prioritized. That's it. That's all. No ideology is necessary. No conspiracy is required. No central control is needed. You can build it accidentally. You can build it while trying to prevent it. You can build it while believing you're righteous. So let me give you the conditions again. Consequences delayed. Value is abstracted. Extraction is rewarded. Regeneration is externalized, and continuity is prioritized. So a village that stores surplus without immediate redistribution, vulnerable. A tool that increases efficiency faster than accountability, vulnerable. A system that remembers outputs but forgets the cost, vulnerable. A structure that survives its makers, vulnerable. That is enough. Once instantiated, the pattern does not need enforcement. It reorganizes behavior automatically because people align, because alignment is rewarded and deviation feels unsafe and resistance appears irrational. So the pattern does not coerce anybody, it selects. That's why every system eventually betrays humanity. That's why reform accelerates collapse, and that's why optimization sharpens the blade. Because the hyper throughput attractor is not rare, it is easy. It's easy. And this is why it appeared again and again across life, across history, and matter itself. And that's why it's so lethal. So I'm going to give you a formal definition. The hyperpredatory throughput attractor is a non-biological, substrate-agnostic, emergent pattern in abstract space that arises when extraction outpaces regeneration under delayed feedback, reorganizing agents through maximizing throughput at the cost of the conditions that sustain them until collapse terminates the configuration. So, all that is left after this, just being flat with you, is humanity. Not humanity as a plan, not as a future, but as a contact. I'm talking about bodies, land, risk, and care. No installation and no delay. You cannot leave this system. You cannot outthink this system. You cannot outsystem this system. The only thing that can ever survive this system is I am. Not your role, not your function, not even your name. Just I am. That's the only thing the pattern can't eat.
Just I am. Yo, so civilization has replaced God. That's what he's saying, y'all. It's a pattern that can't be escaped. It's just there. It is what it is. Lil Jon sacrificed his son for the price of fame. Watch him blow up. Like I said, these so-called celebrities have to sacrifice a loved one for more fame. It's hey. Lil Jon has been popping up a lot more lately. Oh snap! Look, juke him. They can't even catch him. Ooh. Slid like a QB. Somebody got rich off that. That's what happened. Somebody got rich. Somebody probably had a lot of money that someone was going to run across the field.
The moment Ricky Martin appeared, the message became crystal clear. This was the passing of the torch from the old to the new, marking the official beginning of Bad Bunny's reign as the new industry gatekeeper. Lady Gaga wasn't just randomly chosen for this performance either. While it might seem like they snuck a white artist in to keep America from rage quitting, Gaga played a much more important role in this ritual. She played the part of the high priestess. In ancient and esoteric traditions, blue is a color often associated with the divine feminine and the Great Mother, which is connected to Isis. In esoteric rituals, the high priestess provides the spiritual authority for the initiate. By wearing blue, she represents the mother figure of the industry, the one who had already been initiated, symbolically baptizing the new initiate in the industry's higher ranks. Essentially, she was leading this ritual, passing the symbolic torch from Ricky Martin to Bad Bunny. The third and final part of the ritual was the completion of the great work and the moment of ascension. Towards the end of the performance, we see Bad Bunny ascending on the power pose. To most, this moment was simply just a tribute to Puerto Rico's infrastructure, but in the language of the occult, it was telling a completely different story. This was meant to demonstrate the literal completion of the great work. He was positioning himself at the very top of the energy grid. In the occult, electricity is often linked to the light bringer, the spark of life and consciousness, often described as a divine spark. The purpose of the great work is to power that divine spark so it could ascend and reach enlightenment. By standing on the energy pose, he positioned himself between the heavens and the earth, with the sparks representing the activation of his own divine spark. Symbolically, he was siphoning the focus of 100 million people and grounding it into the stage to feed off their energy. He wasn't just performing, he was being initiated into the highest orders of the secret religion that runs Hollywood.
This is Milo. Pets are family. But every year, 10 million go missing. And the way we look for them hasn't changed in years. Until now. One post of a dog's photo in the Ring app starts outdoor cameras looking for a match. Search Party from Ring uses AI to help families find lost dogs. Since launch, more than a dog a day has been reunited with their family. Be a hero in your neighborhood with Search Party. Available to everyone for free right now. Join the neighborhood at ring.com.
Yo, for free right now. They're using our Ring cameras to search for anything. Yo, they can search anybody, and everybody's Ring camera going to be searching and pinging on whatever. They say it's for a dog named Milo, but it's for a person named me and you as well. Y'all remember this? 2012 was a minute ago. Be weird, don't it? Look at those girls. Oh yeah, that's the little dancing TikToker nurses. Crazy.
If you're single and you live in America, then you need to see this. They're floating marriage camps for single people. I need you to listen carefully. This is not satire. This is a real proposal. There's a plan being pushed by the Heritage Foundation called Saving America by Saving the Family. On the surface, it sounds like culture war language. Underneath it, it's something way more serious. So they plan on making marriage boot camps. Unmarried people will be encouraged to attend structured programs designed to push couples toward marriage. So the end goal of all of this shit is the participants will finish this program and then take part in a group wedding ceremony. You heard what I just said? You'll go through the program, you'll finish the program, and at the end of the program, they'll have a group wedding ceremony. Now, the estimate cost of this proposal is about $280 billion. That's not pocket change. That's a national level investment in reshaping personal relationships. Now, couples who complete this program and get married, they're going to receive a $5,000 cash bonus at the end of the ceremony.
Wow.
And this is all funded by private donors. They call it voluntary. But when money, social pressure, and institutional backing get involved, voluntary gets blurry real fast. This ain't about helping people find love. It's about them telling you what you can and not do with your personal relationships. And once the government starts controlling your personal life, you already know what's going to happen with that. Think about what doesn't get this kind of funding. Healthcare, education, housing. But they got money to tell you how to live your life. Go down that rabbit hole, because once personal freedom becomes a problem to solve, it's on everyone's list. Pay attention.
What? If we stopped fishing the ocean for 8 years, it would be back to nearly 100% fecundity. 100% perfect, nearly.
But we'd have to get all the countries on board.
Yeah,
that means
it's
for
impossible.
8 years, all the fishermen would starve.
And not to
They're not
mention,
gonna do
fish
it.
is the primary source of protein for like the majority of the planet.
Is it really?
It is, yeah.
The majority of the planet?
Yeah, oh, that's certainly everywhere coastal. But the majority of the planet's majority of protein comes from fish. I mean, we are wiping out, it's 100 million sharks a year we're killing. Just sharks, 100 million a year.
The same people who need their own halftime show were the same people who needed their own water fountains.
That's crazy.
Now that the Island Man files are out, are you putting together why the daycare scandal in Minnesota had to be changed to an immigration story literally overnight? Where do you think these demons get their pizza and grape soda?
Hey, Prince was on something. He was definitely on something. You could put this all over your body, maybe. Prince was on something.
What? The trend is crazy, yo.
Tell me y'all remember that time when a 16-year-old NBA youngboy dropped a song listing everybody on the Epstein files. Everybody. And we just looked over it. That's the reason why I can't get behind the hype right now, because the list has already been revealed. Youngboy dropped a song when he was 16 listing off everybody that was on that list. If you think I'm lying, go check it out.
Yo, is this true? I need somebody to fact check that.
I used to look up to Rashad Jamal, for real. But that brother showed me niggas is just bound to fall. Why you sending hit the niggas from behind the wall? What? All that fire in you, but wasn't grounded at all. God cut his ass short, he was thinking he tall. Mastering myself, I show you how really the ball. He in his ego feeling weak, so he bark like a dog. He say he don't like drama, look all the beef that you started. A Sagittarius, you stay burning bridges like carpet. Well, I'm a Pisces, I'ma drown your ass down in this water. I could've taught you how to swim, but now why should I bother? Shout out to all the conscious teachers who did their thing for us. Like Bobby, him, and Dr. York, Layla, Africa. I got the torch, I'm helping, waking all my people up. Everything organic and authentic, straight from love. Everybody, please stay present and stay on your journey. Stay true to self, get rid of fear, cause there's no need to worry. Send love and blessings to the brother and his family too. This shit just taught me many lessons and how I should move.
So he hating on people from behind the bars? I didn't know that.
Let's just be real.
Let's just be honest.
Teachers are talking about arming themselves to fight against ICE, but refuse to arm themselves to stop your everyday school shooter. That's crazy right there.
Just be real.
So Biden wasn't a real person, huh?
I'll never forget that. Michael Jackson saved me from getting on a plane to that tiny island.
So people are saying Neverland wasn't what the media made it out to be. They're saying Michael Jackson brought kids there to keep them away from darker forces in the industry, away from things tied to powerful people. Even Epstein-related rumors keep getting mentioned in these conversations, and the theory goes that because Michael didn't play along with certain elites, he became a target, so the narrative got flipped. Instead of being seen as someone protecting kids, he was painted as the villain, but then you have people like Macaulay Culkin. And someone who actually knew Michael going on record to defend him, saying he never saw abuse, saying the public story doesn't match his real experience. And the more people dig, the more some feel like pieces are starting to line up, not just about protecting kids physically, but emotionally, socially, even warning other stars behind the scenes, like Britney Spears, like others in the industry. Now, I'm not saying this is confirmed, but this is what people have been connecting. And honestly, it's starting to make some people rethink everything. If you've seen more info on this, help fact check it. Because if even part of this is true, it changes the entire story.
Wait, I'm lost. What happened?
They get a bunch of frozen ahi and they trick everybody into thinking it's beautiful, fresh ahi. So what they do is they get this rotten tuna, feed it into this red chemical dye, which turns it from the brown, poopy color that you see into a bright red color that never goes away. So even if the fish is completely rotten, it'll still look completely fresh because they're injecting this dye, soaking it in this dye to give it the illusion of being fresh ahi. In it, they're gonna inject carbon monoxide gas into the bags and then let the fish marinate in that carbon monoxide gas so it soaks all the way through it. Keeps the fish from smelling or tasting rotten to the extent it can get so rotten that people can actually die and never have tasted or smelled that it's bad because the carbon monoxide prevents that from happening.
That's
when restaurants or grocery stores turn this into value-added products, so sushi or poke, they do not have to label that this is the type of fish they're using. They can just say fresh made.
Oh man, you can't trust nothing.
Epstein Files Part 3. Let's get into it. First, let's start with good old Joey Bag of Donuts, Joe Biden. He's in the files, but in a very different way. Because turns out that they said in the files that this dude playing Joe Biden is actually not Joe Biden. It's an actor with a mask because the real Joe Biden died in 2019 by firing squad. They said the real Joe Biden was an evil, sick, angry man who abused children, so he died for crimes against humanity. But here's the thing. I did this story 2 years ago where I said the Joe Biden we have is not Joe Biden at all because I have this screenshot from Ancestry.com where it says he died in 2018 at Guantanamo Bay and his final resting place is at Arlington National Cemetery. Then after I posted this, then it gets deleted. So, told you so. I mean, how is it that the Illuminati card game predicted this very thing, the imposter card with two guys with one wearing a mask that looks just like Joe Biden? It makes you ask a bigger question. How does this game predict everything that happened in the last 30 plus years? It predicted Trump's assassination, COVID, 9/11, you name it. Well, sounds like time travel, right? Well, that's also in the Epstein files because it says right here, we should explore the biological sequence of time travel. It will be amusing to calculate the rate of evolution of a population or a mutant that can travel in time. What? Now moving along to some of the pictures in the files. This was in the files as well where a trap door in his house leads to the ocean or some type of body of water. Now, some people were saying it was to dispose of bodies, but what if it was the other way around? Not to put something out, but to take something in. Let's not forget, Ghislaine Maxwell had a submarine license, so that would be an easy access point to ship people in and a way to circumvent the flight logs. And remember that whole Wayfair conspiracy where these cabinets and other items named after missing kids were going for tens of thousands of dollars? Well, that's just a conspiracy, right? Right? Well, it looks like Epstein's assistant bought something off of Wayfair for over $8,000 for an unknown item. So there's that. And last, but definitely not least, we have this footage in the files showing people going underground. Yeah, I have no idea where this goes or what's even going on down there. Now, if you notice on the guy's shirt, it did say the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, and Epstein did have a house in New York. So my guess is maybe this was under his house? Who knows? I'm doing a deeper dive on my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, so make sure you guys hit that up and let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
In the Epstein files, there's a receipt from YouTube where his...
It's a lot of these Epstein Island Man files, ain't it? That's crazy.
username is Littlest Jeff 1. Hello, Littlest Jeff 1. Wait, Littlest Jeff 1. There was a charge in May 2019, but he died in August. Wait, Chapter 5, Season 1? Wait, that was recent. Epstein's Fortnite account is active in Israel? No. Fortnite tracker, we have, all right, gentlemen, we have the Fortnite account right now. Let's pull it up. The profile has just been made private. Wait a minute. Can I look at this on Wayback Machine? It has not archived that URL. Epstein just privated his account. I have screenshots of his stats confirming he's alive. How is this proof? Okay, so this is why people think that it's Jeffrey Epstein. He got a charge for $25 for V-Bucks on Fortnite. And this was on May 7th, 2019. And this is, again, keep in mind, justice.gov. This is the government website for Jeffrey Epstein right here. And this is Littlest Jeff with jeevacation@gmail.com. It could be a troll, but how could it be a troll if they did it so far in advance? The account isn't brand new. It was discovered. My guy faked his death and immediately started playing Fortnite. Fortnite Chapter 1, Season 10 ran from August 1st to October 2019. Crazy. Get the screenshot of him playing Season 6 before it's too late. Where are the other screenshots of this? I want to see it. It says I can't edit the post. Where's the imager link? Matches. So he and wait, this is Season 4, and he had an 8% win rate? Look at Chapter 3, Season 17. 17% win rate? He has kids playing for him? He's in Tel Aviv playing Fortnite. This could be... Wait, this is his WoW account? Wait a minute. Context. This is the Department of Justice. Jeffrey Epstein played WoW. And he was a wrath baby. This was right before Cataclysm. Wait a minute. No. He was Horde? I knew it, guys. I knew it all along. He has heirlooms? Yes, he has heirlooms, which means that this is an alt. This is an alt character. This is Epstein, isn't it? Dude, who is this guy?
Yo. Hey, was that him? A little bit of white hair everywhere. Got the security all around him. Man, somebody worth that much money, that important to the powers that be, that powerful. You think they'll just go away like that? That easy? I think he's more powerful than the people around him who we assume got him offed. He's more powerful than a lot of people, I think, in my opinion. If he's still here, I'll leave that up for debate. You guys can let me know in the comment section. But yeah, these are some of the most creepy and strange TikToks that are out there. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notification bells on, and until next time, YouTube, peace.